Alright, I know I would usually try to do my typical little intro, but I gotta be that guy right now. Is it cold as fuck for anyone else out there where you guys are at? Because, oh my god. This Arctic blast coming through here is hellacious. I'm down here in the southwest corner of Missouri, and today, as of me recording this video, it is like a high of 1 degree. 1 fucking degree! It's like, my god, we are approaching borderline Snowpiercer weather at this point. I mean, hell, Alaskans, they deal with -70 on the regular every winter, but my god, it's never really been this cold. And yeah, Jesus, like, even my heaters are kind of struggling to keep my place warm, and I'm looking at this damn cruise ship like, boy, I wish I was there right now. But, to help keep my mind off the freezing cold, I kind of figured, since it's the weekend and I got time, and I need to kind of be uploading a little bit more regularly now, how about we actually take a look at the status of the cruise ship and how it's sitting nowadays? Because even for the 9 to 8 months that I've been gone, it hasn't really been sitting completely dormant the entirety of the time, but, I mean, still, granted, of course, it hasn't had a hell of a lot of progress done to it even between the 9 to 8 months, but but there have been a couple of milestones that have been achieved on this thing, as time has went by. So, just to kind of give you a bit of a status update as to what it looks like and the few things that have been added and the few things that have been tweaked, just in case you want to know, so let's take a look at it. So, right off the get-go up here at the front here, I did a little bit more refining work on the pool area, or the bow section. The little garden beds and whatnot, kind of fluffed them up a little bit. I still need to do some more detailing work. The pools, I actually still have to refill the other hot tub on that side, but kind of put in some stairways, some access points, and even got a couple of locations set for like bars and spas and whatnot. And to kind of give a little bit more definition and detail to the bow, I put like these little arching, I guess like what, sunscreens or skylights, or I don't even know what the hell you call them. Just like these modernistic covers that go with the flow of the main stairwells that go around the pools. And up front, it's got a couple of spaces for bars and whatnot, and the helipads themselves haven't had a hell of a lot done to them. And you probably might be noticing these look-alike rigging cables. Yeah, I kind of threw those in there here lately within the recent months, because even though you don't really see them on modern cruise ships nowadays, I kind of feel like, seeing how this is supposed to be like a take on an ocean liner cruise ship modernistic hybrid of some sort, I guess going by the color scheme and the kind of resemblance that it has bared with the MS Poseidon, I kind of figured throwing in some of the rigging up front would just kind of make it pop up a little bit more with some extra detail. So it's there, man. Kind of have the whole proper sagging and, kind of like what I did with the Oceanic here some time ago. So yeah, just thought I'd give it a spin. As far as the interior yes, as far as in the stutter much, yeah. The cold is getting to me, boys. I can't English very well. Yeah, so as far as the interior progress is concerned, still minuscule. The actual forward section of the superstructure has gotten some places put into it. Of course, it's just basic, just basic rough, rough sketching or rough painting of the few different areas, taking direct homage to the Poseidon on how it had like a casino, a bar, a restaurant, a gymnasium, and whatnot, all up on the higher and lower levels. So I mean, basically the color templates and the just overall internal design is basically going to be what the precursor is of the room's aesthetic is supposed to be. I'm trying to combine too many big words into one sentence, but you get the drift. So taking a step back outside here, one of the other little more elaborate locations I've worked on here is the actual lifeboat deck. I know I had the lifeboats actually just kind of sitting here, just dangling in free space with nothing really, with no detail behind them. But as of here lately, I've actually went ahead and put together the whole emergency, I don't even know what the hell you'd call it, like the evacuation deck, lifeboat deck. I guess, I don't know, anytime I hear it, it's just always been called the lifeboat deck. You got all the gantryways and the elevated platforms that allow passengers to collect, regroup, and board their dedicated lifeboats as they'd be instructed, before disembarking. And yeah, this stretches on for just about the entire length of the ship, seeing as how there's basically nothing but lifeboats on this deck. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of use the structure block to kind of help duplicate the same thing over and over and over again, but I guess it's like seeing how there's not supposed to be really anything elaborate or special down here other than just having the space for passengers and, being able to get on the lifeboats in a timely and efficient manner. I guess it really would just be as uniform and as uncluttered as possible for the sheer amount of people that would be on this ship in an IRL situation. But also, let's be real here. I think even in an IRL situation, there wouldn't be any case or situation that would, probably stand any chance of sinking the ship aside from a nuclear blast for as big as it is. But anyways, yeah, so aside from the lifeboats, moving up, let's actually get above the superstructure here. So yeah, coming up here to the Central Park district that I got going on here, still pretty much barren, but I have started to kind of put in a little bit of work here toward the front section. You probably noticed me doing a brief little clip on it, of it. Yeah. Still failing the English, the cold is getting to me, I'm losing motor function. Yeah, so, yeah, my little teaser video of me coming back, 30 seconds or whatever, there was a little snippet of me putting in these, like, what looks to be, like, layered, layer cake mountains or something like that. Just kind of as a part of my little design doctrine, this is not the final look of it, it's just kind of like a rough, step-by-step angular indicator as to where it's all going to go. So I'm going to do some more, authentic landscaping work to make it look more like a naturally developed hillside or a mountain. They're not going to be perfectly symmetrical, I just had to duplicate it over to the other side. And down here in the center, it's going to be some kind of like, park center, I guess. There's going to be a couple of recessed levels down below this one. Yeah, below this level, kind of like the main lobby, or one of the atriums back there. There's supposed to be another one towards the aft section of the ship as well. But, yeah, so kind of more like just a collective, garden center, where it's kind of like a hub, I guess, as you would say, kind of like the center point that would allow you to get your bearings and kind of evaluate where the rest of the little features and attractions are in the park. And then alongside the left and right of the center here, these are like elevated platforms where I guess I'm going to put like a ball court of some kind, say like a tennis court or a volleyball court. That side could be like a basketball court or a dodgeball court. Something along those lines, and then I guess as time goes by, I'm going to be putting in some like pathways, maybe like a little miniature creek, artificial creek that kind of goes down the center of it, just wiggling back and forth, and maybe towards here, towards the midsection here, I'll have something that kind of resembles like an artificial beachfront with like more of like a natural-looking body of water that would be kind of like another swimming area down here in the midsection. And then coming up top here, I actually kind of flew over this earlier, but yeah, the actual top of the upper sun deck is nowhere near as barren as it once was. Started putting together some proper deck houses and outlining some new areas for a pool, on either side. I mean, that side still needs to have the finer detail worked into it. Seeing as how I use structure blocks to help me duplicate symmetrical sections of the ship, I'll usually do all the detail on one side and then just kind of dupe it over to the other side. Now, whenever it comes down to the lower decks and the more off-centered interior layouts of rooms and such, that stuff will have to come afterwards, after all the symmetry work is done. But yeah, so like, got a little outline of a pool deck. Jesus, I'm losing it. I'm slowly losing it. I'm on borrowed time here. I gotta finish it up. Yeah, so this little area, I guess, would be kind of like your little pool bar, where the actual bar itself was kind of recessed into the water. People sit on stools in the water. You probably have seen those, and going up here, I got all the different Doppler and radar arrays up top with all the domes and such, because for as big as this ship is, it's going to need about every angle of monitoring it can get. As far as the aft section is concerned, I actually have not touched up on anything back there, which is why I haven't ventured that far. But, as far as, like, actual major progress is concerned, if I go back down here to the bow section... Back up here at the bow section, yeah, as I said, one of the major milestones that are actually very impressive so far here. If I equip some night vision, Jesus, that's louder than I thought it was going to be. If you look a little bit below the waterline here, yes, I have actually achieved getting the forward section of the keel, not the keel, but the draft. Yeah, the draft of the bow section. Gotta find the words here. Yeah, I got that in place, and even got the bow thruster tubes and the propellers in there. The bulbous bow is all complete and such. Let's see. If I keep my head just above water, you can see it better with the night vision, because if I go below water, you can't see jack diddly shit. Woo! Splash. So yeah, bulbous bow. I know for some would probably say that maybe this isn't quite as big or impressive as it would realistically need to be for a ship of this scale. But I mean, in all honesty, with the draft of any ship build in Minecraft, if you're going to actually have it sitting in the water, it's going to be like one of the least seen parts of the ship, so it doesn't really have to be all that elaborate, I would argue. I mean, I guess even going by my standards. And the actual propellers themselves here, I can probably get closer. Yeah, little access hole where I've been working in and out here. You can kind of see the, yeah, the actual cylinders or the tubes themselves, the little rings where the motor mounts would be located that keep the propeller suspended in the tubes. I was like, if I can get out of here. Take an actual peek at the propellers themselves. Yeah, for anyone who has submechanophobia, I'm sorry about this, but yeah, so here's the propellers. There's one on each end of the tube because of just how big this ship is. Because I would think that, realistically, a ship would only have a single propeller per tube, and it would be more centered in the tubes, but, I don't know. Kind of taking more homage to the Poseidon, you know, whenever it's capsized and they're in the tubes, it looks like they had two propellers on either side. Whether that's realistic or not is still anyone's guess, but I would imagine somebody in the comments could tell me. So yeah, that's the size of the tubes and the propellers. And, hell, I guess even for the sake of realism, I've actually been kind of paying attention to the hull markings and seeing how they usually have like a little symbol directly above, you know, the center point of the tubes, above the waterline, indicating where the propellers or the bow thrusters would actually be. And I guess alongside the start of the draft, now that it's in there, it still hasn't really gotten all that far, but still one of the other milestones about the bow section here is that, you know, in my absence, while I was just kind of minding my own business, there actually was a moment in time whenever I kind of realized that the bow section was a bit dated and how the pattern just kind of arched downward and just went straight into the water. Didn't really have a lot of organic shaping to it, so just to kind of throw it out there, I actually took some time to gut the entire cheek of the bow section and decided to resculpt it and kind of make it to where the actual cheek of the bow tapers towards the rear of towards the midsection of the ship in a more organic and realistic manner, even though, really, for a ship this girthy and this big, I guess efficiency or speed isn't going to exactly be, yeah, a major characteristic of a ship of this proportion. So, but I mean, I don't know, just to kind of give it a little bit more organic shaping, kind of like how I did with the Oceanic back whenever I put this together. I kind of figured just to give it the little update in detail, I decided to taper the bow. So yeah, that about sums it up for the cruise ship, or the super cruise ship anyways, and I guess some little bit of fun news outside of the cruise ship though. You might have noticed this little guy sitting over here. Yeah, kind of looking back at my former super cruise ship, the Atlantis, back on PS4 days, you know, way back in the day whenever I was kicking off YouTube early in the years. One of the major key features of the Atlantis was that it carried its own fleet of dedicated tugboats. And I kind of wanted to port that idea over here to the Axiom, seeing as how it's, 15 times the size? That's probably an exaggerated number. Actually, no, that's definitely an exaggerated number. It's definitely much larger in scale and proportion, so for a ship this large, it would definitely need, you know, some very powerful tugs to help maneuver it through tighter ports, because, let's be real, stutter much. Yep, I'm about to lose all I got here. It's getting too cold. Yeah, so in a real life situation, if there ever was a ship this scale, there would hardly be any ports big enough to house it. So the tugs would probably suit more of a ferrying or a shuttle vessel of some sort. But yeah. So about the tugboat, kind of goes with like a classic, more vintage look, even though it would be more of a modern day built tug. You know, got the old school Southampton, or not even Southampton style, but, you know, the whole White Star Line kind of style, black and gold funnel, you know, white on black, just to kind of suit the look of the Axiom, being that it's supposed to be kind of like a dedicated fleet of tugs, and yeah, this just being the baseline model. It's even got the draft, the propellers, you can see them down there. Yeah, these things would be stashed away somewhere in an onboard marina in the Axiom, further towards the aft section. And funnily enough, though, there actually is a bit of an interior layout for this thing, but probably not going to dive too deep into it. You know, got the bridge, this, that, and the other, you know, lower sections for, you know, crew, housing, dining, and such, and living accommodations, because, yeah, being that the cruise line that would operate the Axiom really cares about their workers and the passengers, they would definitely also give the working men on board these more industrialistic tugboats more of a lavish interior for their off time if they're not actually shunting the ship around. Yeah, even like in the lower sections, there's rooms down here, but like I said, not going to dive too deep into that. So yeah, that just about kind of sums up the overall progress of, where the Axiom sits nowadays and the little bit that's been done to it. I'm probably going to try and devote a little bit more time, a little bit more effort to my off time, just trying to kind of help get some more detail along on this thing. I'm probably gonna be focusing more on the Central Park area, just because that seems like it's gonna be the most elaborate section of the ship as far as the exterior is concerned. So yeah, I'll probably be doing some build-alongs to that, kicking off some live streams once again. It's like, I'm not entirely sure how well notifications get through on my little channel, but I'll try to put up like a post or something like in the community page where I just say like when I'm gonna do a live stream of the sort. But yeah, I'm monologuing too much and it's getting colder by the minute, so rather than take up any more of your time, I guess as my new outro would have it, and as I'm now gonna say, it's like, you take care of yourselves out there, and you have yourselves a good morning, good evening, or good night, whichever the case may be. So hey, if ever you need someone to help put a smile on your face, or just looking for someone to help make your day just a little bit better, well, you know where to find me. He's still going, oh shit, oh shit.
You're not supposed to try.
I'm sitting like this now.